Oops. Hello, Nina. Hello, Mickey Bailey. Nadia, Melissa, STL Girl. What kind of fun are we going to have tonight? I'm just thinking I have a different webcam that's way up high. The Keo Razor or whatever, that is like the go-to webcam for now, unless there's something better that comes along. How's everybody doing on this Sunday night? I'm doing good. It's snowing here, kind of weird, very weird, but I like it. Everything that has to do with tarot, please. Hi, Shamika. How are you guys? This is going to be a fun night. I've got my cards all ready. And I've got some paper in case we want to do some numerology. And I got a whole bucket full of really thick permanent markers because with different colors, because that's what I like to do. I'm a color freak. I like to write in big fat permanent markers on cardstock. That's my newest craze. All right, so I thought to start tonight off, what we would do. Thank you. I'm doing really well. Thank you very much. Everybody's staying safe. I hope you're all staying safe and getting through this pandemic crap. I'm going to start out tonight with a red marker. So this means that somebody has an issue around love, right? I'm even going to draw a big heart on my paper. So what I'm going to do is if you want to post the first letter of your name, on your birth certificate, I will tell you something about How about now? Do I have sound now? Is the sound acceptable? I mean, can you hear me nice and clear? I don't know what the hell I did. All right. Sorry about that. I don't even know what web sound is. I mean, I put web sound. I don't know what that is. So, all right. First letter of your first name. First letter of your first name. And I'm going to tell you about what you need to know about being in love, staying in love, falling in love, not drawing in dysfunctional love. And we're going to talk about love tonight. Richie. Wait. Oh my God, you guys. Stop. You're going too fast. Elena or Elena is a J. Richie is an E. STL is a D. Shayna is an S. You could read my lips. Read my lips. You guys are hilarious. Rebecca is an R. Hayden is an M. Mouth. Mouth is a P. Jalen is a J. All right. Now, we're going to go back up to, hi Shayna, Alina. Alina is a J, which is the number 1. All right. So Alina, listen very, very carefully, girlfriend. Now, when ones are in love, for one thing, they're very independent, all right? And they can be a little critical. So they could be like, I'm watching you, and if you leave the toilet lit up or you do something funky, I'm going to verbalize it to you, right? Because ones have a low tolerance level. So what you have to do as a 1 is you have to be in a relationship where they do allow you to be yourself, but you kind of have to tone down that 1. Unless you're with an 8, somebody that would start with HQZ, like if you have Harry or something, if you're in a Harry relationship, then you're probably good. 1s can handle 8s and 8s can handle 1s. But otherwise, 1 is a very out there type of number. So now, 1s can also be lonely. Even when they're with someone, they can be lonely if they feel there's not a strong connection or something's not right, and they kind of analyze love with their head, all right? 1s don't always go gaga with their heart. Unless you were born like on a 3, 6, or 9, those are the heart numbers if your day of birth is that. But typically the first letter of your first name does have a strong influence on your relationships. So you're powerful, you know what you'll take and won't take. However, if a 1 is unbalanced, they could draw in somebody with addictions. I'm just saying. So be careful of that. And to stay in love, you've got to make sure that you maintain your independence and don't put too many rules on them. If there's no deal breakers, let them off kind of a little easy. All right, Richie is an E. That's the number 5. It's a 5. Richie would need a lot of freedom in that relationship, not to see other people, but freedom to express yourself exactly as you need to express yourself. Now, 5s are unpredictable. So you might say, hey, this happened, let's go do this. And if you're with somebody who is a 4 or a number that likes to have plans, they might not want to be that spontaneous. So you have to recognize that you're a freedom seeker, adventure seeker, but not everybody is. So a 5 now 5 is one of the most challenging numbers to have relationships with because they're all over the place. Let's do this, let's do that, let's go here. They're high energy people. They like to move. If you don't like to move, then you're unbalanced as a 5. It doesn't mean you have to be a marathon runner, but 5s like to keep their mind busy. So if you are sitting, you're not going to just be sitting, staring out a window. That's never a 5. You're going to be, scrolling the internet. You're going to be keeping that mind active. And you also have a wide variety of interests. So for being in love, you want to pick somebody who also has a wide variety in love. So like threes and sixes and things like that would always be good for you, because those are very social numbers. Fives are kind of people that are quirky, like you could laugh at strange things, and so but a lot of people enjoy that quirky, and fives are very charming. But that being said, it is a challenging number to be in love. If you have a long term love and you're a five, thumbs up, because you're staying balanced in your five. STL girl is a four, and a four, they're in relationships for security and stability. All right, fours don't want sudden changes. Like you better walk your talk. You better say who you are. You better be honest with who you are, and you better not keep secrets, because a four is gonna kick your ass if you do anything like that. They're loyal. They want loyalty, and they want predictability. They want stability. They want to know that when they wake up the next day, you're still gonna love them. Every day, like for long term. Fours like long term relationships, and so as a four, you want stability. And to stay in love, you have to be careful about being stubborn. Fours can be stubborn, so try not, to be stubborn. Recognize when you're stubborn and say, "That's my four," and say, "Four, be open minded," because sometimes four will get stuck in what they think is right, and they're not always open to change. They are, but not as much as some of the other numbers. All right, Shayna. Shayna Phillips is an S. Now, A, J, and S are all number ones, but they're not always the same number one. So it's hard to explain, but I'm going to do it this way. So I'm going to write out the letters A, J. Actually, I'm going to switch the camera over here. You guys are going to get a lesson in numerology. All right? So here we go. Let me see if I can switch my camera. All right. So we got A, J, and S. These are all the one number vibration letters. Who's the most rigid? Yes, A. I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. There's zero flexibility. Zero. They don't have much flexibility, right? They have to learn that, or hopefully they have other letters in their name that will let that go. Now here's some flexibility. It's this way. They're pretty set, but then here it comes. Oh, I'll be flexible, and the most flexible is the S. I'll just go here, I'll go there. Yes, it's all the quality of one, but it is different simply because of that flexibility. So yeah, it's all the quality of one, but different qualities of the one. That's why if I say something different to you and somebody else had a one and I said something different, it's because they had a different letter of the one vibration. Just so you guys know that. All right, back to where we were. Shayna. So Shayna is very flexible as a one. So she has a lot of ideas. And so in this relationship, for those of you just joining, put your first letter of your first name. We're talking love right now, because love is one of the most important subjects that we could ever talk about. And so Shayna, it's important for you, Shayna, to know that you are more flexible. You're the most flexible one there is. And for you, having your independence and having ideas about the relationship. So you'll get a lot of ideas about where you think a relationship should go, and you're very verbal about it. You might do a lot of talking to them, and you might tell them about your ideas. And so the biggest challenge for one is to listen, because ones already are thinking what they're gonna say next, so they can tend to over talk in a relationship. So just notice that how much you listen, and when you're listening, are you really listening, or are you thinking about the next thing you're gonna say? So really like calm your energy down and really listen, and then your relationships will be beautiful. They'll go smoothly. Also, ones can be very nasty verbally if they're not balanced. So if somebody pisses you off, blah, here it comes, the dagger through the words. But so just be aware of that also, because you can never take back a hurtful phrase once it's left your lips. Rebecca. Now she's a 9. The letter I and R are 9s. Now these are sensitive people. So Rebecca has to realize, Rebecca, that your feelings are going to be a little more easily hurt than someone else, all right? And also, you need to talk when your feelings are hurt. So if you are with someone who's not a talker, it's going to be, or not a good listener, it's going to be hard for you. If you're with somebody who's constantly like a 1, putting verbal things, see, a 1 will say something and they'll be like, get the fuck over it, right? And the 9 will be like, I can't get over it. In fact, ask me 20 years from now, I'll give you the date that you said that nasty thing. Like, they hold things forever. They remember hurtful things for a long time. So 9s are sensitive. So knowing that, you might have to explain to who you're with that, you're very sensitive, and that try to, be nice. Don't be with an asshole. 9s cannot be with assholes. A 1 could be. A 1 would bitch slap an asshole. So would an 8. An 8 would just pound on them. Verbally. Not physically. So that's one of the things about being a 9 is you're more sensitive and compassionate. And also breakups are hard for you. Like if you have too severe of a breakup, it's hard for you to move on to another relationship because you're so wounded. You hold on to that wounded warrior thing. Hayden is an M. If I skip somebody, let me know. Thank you. Sunday Lives are a wonderful idea. Love the Viking sword thing. Oh my God, I love that Viking sword thing. That 8-year-old girl, did you listen to the video? I didn't show the video because I wasn't sure I'd get a copyright strike. So I didn't play the video, but oh my gosh. That was incredible. That was absolutely, and the beaming. She was just beaming when she found that. That was one of my most fun videos to do. Your life path is 11 and you're a double Scorpio. What does double Scorpio mean? Double Scorpio. I wonder if I need to pay attention to that because you told me that. Your life path is an 11. Oh, that's 1-1. Oh, and of course that would make sense. So that makes you really super intense in relationships. But that's good. That's all right. Always embrace who you are. Numerology, astrology, always embrace who you are 100%. You don't make excuses for anybody. You're all beautiful just the way you are. Oh, we've got some more people here. Hi, the Dunn Creative. I like that name. I got to catch up with these new letters. Melissa Martin, was she after? Oh, I got to get Melissa Martin is an M. Michelle is an M. The Dunn Creative is an A. I try to write these down so that I get them in order. You're definitely all over the place. So am I. Don't worry about it. I'm like a relationship coach. Yeah, good for you. The world needs more of those. Give me a reading at once. Shark, you have to give us the first letter of your name, and if I fucking feel like it, then I'll talk to you. How's that? Don't give me orders, right? That would be a 1, by the way. An 8 and a 1, of which I'm not. What am I? I'm a 4. Okay. Oh, you got Pisces moon on top of that, so way oversensitive. Oh my. Yeah. That is, that would make you sensitive. So, Rebecca has a Pisces moon, right? Yeah. No. Yes, it's hard for you to move on. Okay, Rebecca. So, you have two C's. If that's your real name, you have two C's in there, which makes you a communicator. So you need to find a relationship where the person is really kind, like they love and rescue animals. I mean, you know what I mean. They love animals. They might cry at movies. Somebody who really understands your sensitivity. That's who you'd be best with. Now, if you're unbalanced in an R, you have to be aware of drawing in people that are dysfunctional, like they're either addictive behaviors, they could be bullyish and things like that. So instead of looking and blaming them, you have to say, oh my gosh, am I unbalanced in my nine? So part of this is you have to take responsibility for your nine. And so I do numerology coaching. And I also do numerology readings for people, like speaking readings. And we go through the major numbers in your thing. So if you're interested in a numerology reading, I'll put my email in here, tfrog11@yahoo.com. Just email me if you're interested in a numerology reading, because there's remedies. That's why I studied numerology for 25 years, because you can fix everything. There's remedies. Astrology, no remedies. And numerology is a science, and the remedies are 100%. They work every time, instantly. So, Rebecca, I'd say to you that it's good that you're aware that you're sensitive, but if you find yourself hanging on to a relationship that hurt you, then I want you to work on balancing where in your life you feel like a victim, all right? I'm going to write this down. Victim. What happened in your life that put you off your game? You know, was there a parent that was maybe conflictive, or a sibling that kind of bullied you, or you were bullied in school? What event? And you just have to recognize it, rebalance yourself, and then of course there's remedies. Like I would tell you to maybe carry, let's see, number 2 is sensitive. 4. I would have you just write the number 4 on a piece of paper and put it in your purse and see if that stables out some of that. Because a 4 will let you grieve for a little while, but it sets a clock. Okay, you're done now. Now move on. Shut that door behind you. You're not ever going back, and look for the new life. That's what the 4 will do for you. Okay, as an R, Michael Nugent would agree. Yes, because everybody who is an R would have a similar type. Now, you're not all exactly the same, because you've got other numbers that play in your numerology game. But you know that in the experience, in the pot of numerology, everybody is different. But we're just kind of doing these general love things based on your first name, because it is important. You're a J1 and a Virgo. I'd like everything in order. Alina. Oh, you're a Virgo 1. See, I'm a Virgo, but I'm not true to my sun sign because I'm a slop. I have messy house. I'm a mess, and Virgos are supposed to be organized. I am not true to Virgo at all. But my number, born on the 30th, a 3. Threes are messy. So I'm more of the number than I am my sun sign. What is an L is a 3. CLU is a 3. And they're the party, happy, joyful. In fact, 3s are all about fun. So if you're in a relationship with a 3, they want to have fun. The best thing you can do with a 3 is, hey, what's the most fun we could have? You want to go on a go-kart ride? You want to go on the hang gliding things? You know, adventures and fun. That's what 3s are about. Now, 3s spend money too. So if you said you want to go shopping, a 3 would be like, what? Shopping? You know, 3s are very social. So anything in social groups, things like that, are a 3. Hayden is a 4. And Hayden is an M, which is a 4. So Hayden, with the M going straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, they want things to be fair, all right? Because the M goes up, and then it goes, okay, I want my needs met, and I'll meet your needs. I want my needs met, and then I'll meet your needs. Because if it's not fair, a 4 is like going to really point that out. This is not fair. This relationship is not fair. And so a 4 is going to be all about that. And now, as a 4, Hayden, like if you get upset in a relationship, rather than you know solve that right away, go walk in nature. Go for a walk in nature or go for a drive in a car, because cars and nature are your soothing, the way that you get calmed down. So you might find yourself on car rides with beautiful scenery and going through the countryside. I mean, that gets you back thinking straight. So if you're a 4, you're very nature based. Even if you're a city person, you're still nature based in your energy of the 4. So figure out, and 4s like to analyze things. So while you're doing that, walking in nature or driving, you're going to be thinking, now they should have done that. You're going to have your list, right? Because 4s are going to be listing everything so they can talk logically to this person when they're calmed down, when they're not upset. So 4s can be very loyal in relationships. They can be if they're balanced, and they like stability. They don't like unexpected change. Fountain of cool info. All right, now mouth from the south is a P. Now this is fun to do a P, because the P is a 7. All right, the P is a 7. G, P, Y are the 7 letters, and the P is very interesting, because a 7 person in a relationship needs to have a little space. Like, I need a little bit of alone time. Don't smother me. You can't have a relationship where you're going to be smothered, mouth of the south. And you also need a little bit of alone time. They can't be, like, where are you? Where are you going? What time are you coming back? You can't have that kind of strings attached to the relationship. They have to just trust that if because you might want to go on an adventure, like you might want to go on a retreat. 7s are driven by their mind. So you're going to be doing a lot of analyzing. You're also going to have mystical things, like mystical ways of how you meet people and mystical experiences. Even if you're not mystical, you still have them. A lot of 7s will have them, and then they just, poo-poo them off. But they still have them. So, yeah, numerology is so important to learn and know about, or just become aware of. Any of the above. So, mouth from the south wants to be successful in a relationship. And so if you think there's any chance of failure, you might not even want to go in the relationship if you think it's a chance of failure, because 7s don't like to fail. And they also do research. So let's say your partner would have a condition like, oh, I don't know, just some weird condition that has a lot of vowels and nobody can pronounce it. You'll be all over researching that and telling them everything about that disease, because that's what 7s do. They love to research and find out the truth of things. 7 is the worst number for having somebody who's dishonest. They don't like that. Now, a 7 also isn't going to expose who they are on the first or second date. They have a hidden quality to them. They're not lying. They just don't expose their whole self out there like a 3 would or a 5 would. 5s and 3s just put everything out there. Here I am. But a 7 is more reserved. And if you earn a 7's trust and you seem like this could work, then they'll give you little bits here and little bits there. And so you kind of have to earn. People have to earn their way into your life with a 7, and which is a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing to have boundaries like that. You can't stand being smothered. Exactly. Exactly. Now, Jalen is a 1, but she's another J like Alina. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. So Jalen is a 1. Some other qualities of 1 are their energy doesn't stop. Like, a lot of times they are active at night. All right. So Jalen could be active into the evening hours, whereas if you're one of, there's odd numbers and there's even numbers. And the odd numbers, 3, 6, 9, tend to be like creative and soft-natured, soft-hearted, tender-hearted, kind of mellow. But the 1s are intense, and they can be night owls. So a 3, 6, or 9 might want to go to bed at a decent hour, and a 1 will be up until 2, 3 in the morning, because they can't shut their mind off. A lot of times the mind will keep running. So in relationships, so one might have to be aware of that, that, they might have that intense energy, and who they are with may not have that intense energy. So both people have to really communicate what's a good boundary. Are you going to be in bed by 11 every night because you can't stay up till 3 and 4? And, so there might have to be some agreements made. Let's just call it that instead of boundaries. Call it agreements. Melissa M is a 4. And Melissa, as a 4, 4s can get stuck and stay in relationships that are not healthy for them long term. So you have to be aware if you are in a relationship, because 4s need that security. So let's say a 4 is with somebody that's got, just not right for them. It doesn't matter what reason. You don't have to point the finger and blame the people. You can just say the relationship's not right for you. And that's all you need to say. You don't have to say anything bad. But a 4 will hang in there. And so will a 2. A 2 and a 4. And 2 is BKT. If your first name starts with a BK or T, you're a 2. 2s and 4s will stay in these relationships because even if it's dysfunctional, it's a predictable dysfunctional. Do you understand? So that's why 4s can stay in relationships that are not always healthy, and they stay in them a long time, longer than they should, or that would be healthy. Hello, everyone. So we're giving the first letter of your name, of your first name on your birth certificate, and I'm telling you about how you are in love. So Melissa, I would say to you to be open-minded to meet somebody who's not in your mind who you thought. Because a 4 might have in their mind, I want to meet somebody wealthy, they can't be overweight, blah, 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 blah. In order for a 4 to really be successful at love, they need to say if there's no deal breakers. So establish your deal breakers. No drugs, no, cheating, no lying. Establish your deal breakers. If there's no deal breaker, then put up with a lot of the behaviors that will come with someone, because it's called unconditional love. Just tolerate a lot and don't complain about all the little small things, and that things have to be in your order and your way and things like that. So that is the biggest thing for a 4 to know, is to kind of be, flexible. Not a doormat, but flexible. All right? That's a 4. And then we have Michelle, who is a 4. And so with that 4 energy, Michelle, relationships are sometimes considered like by the book, right? Because books, anything with 4 corners is a 4. So they like chairs. They got to have like a comfortable chair. It has to be just right. They like to have the perfect car. Anything with 4 corners is a 4. They like that stability. So they like, sometimes they do relationships by the book. Well, the book says, this, and some of the 4s will actually read books and research relationships, which is good as long as you allow flexibility and you don't follow every line of the book. So sometimes the 4 energy, what I would say to you, Michelle, is embrace that 4. So you'll want to find somebody who somewhat is in harmony with your 4 energy. So that could be another 4, it could be a 2, it could be an 8. Now here's the thing. So if Michelle were to fall in love with Rebecca, that might work, a 4 and a 9. But she would have to realize that Rebecca is sensitive, so she would have to kind of like really stop before she just reacted with words, and Rebecca would have to realize that Michelle's not going to provide for all your emotional needs, because she's going to think, take care of your own fucking self. I'll love you, but I'm not going to take care of every emotional need you have, right? So in relationships, you're not responsible for someone else's happiness. Happiness is an inside job, and we need to teach that. So too many relationships, they expect the other person to make them happy. That's the biggest failure. No, it's no one's job to make you happy. You should be happy coming into the relationship with who you are, and then it's just fun to be with them, because that way you don't have that expectation on them to make you happy. All right? So, Michelle, I would say go out there, embrace your nature loving, organized way of living, and find somebody who would really be like that, be like you. In that, they've got their life together, okay? It doesn't have to be totally together, but somewhat successful. Because fours don't want to find people who just have, still at 60 years old, they're still living with their mother. That fours don't like that, all right? Fours, that would not be tolerable to a four. Mickey Bailey. Or let's do done creative next. And then Mickey, I got some questions here. So if you're dating somebody with a letter of their first name, give me your first letter and their first letter. Say me. So mine is this, theirs is that. And then I can tell you what the challenges and gifts of that relationship are if you're in a relationship. So done creative is an A, which is a 1. And ones, they came into the world to pave their own path. So they might look at a path that everybody follows and they'll be like, no, I'm gonna take the path that I'm gonna make, you know what, I'm gonna make my own damn path. That's what a 1 is. So a lot of times in relationships, a 1 will want to do something different. Like it says, well, if you're in love, you should give them flowers on, and all this crap. And a 1 will be like, oh no, I shouldn't say crap, because 6s and 9s want flowers. I mean, oh, bring me flowers or fuck you, right? But so ones like to carve their own path in love relationships. So ones do good with people who are all about that. 5s, are all about whatever. You can give me whatever. Or we can do this spontaneously. We can try something here, because ones like to be unique. They don't like to have like a love that's just like everybody else's. But a love will one will love intensely, and so that's for sure. They're very intense when they find someone they're attracted to. They put all their attention there, almost like a dog. When you throw the ball and the dog's like all focused, a 1 can be very focused on a relationship, which can be a good thing. Um, your favorite card in the devil is the deck is the devil. Oh, Nadia, you should belong to my tarot and numerology wall. We just did oh God, where is that book? I always have it handy. I usually never go far without this book. Oh, where is it? It's called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. You've got to read that book, Nadia. Please read that book. Napoleon Hill called in the devil to sit with him and interviewed him. You won't even be able to put that book down. It's that good. So, Nadia, be sure to get that book. All right. So, done creative will pave a new path for the relationship. Be very unique, not do things mainstream. So, that's really a good way to be successful, is to keep the relationship new. Keep new things coming all the time, because otherwise it can go stagnant. Most ones will not allow a relationship to go stagnant. They want to have things constantly growing and changing. All right, let's look at some of the relationships. Mickey Bailey is an M versus a G, and that would be a 4 versus a 7. So that relationship, Mickey, the 4 versus the 7, is very interesting, because the 7, you'll just have to make sure that you allow that 7 space, right? If they need every day, they need like to go to the cave, or to go off on their own, or whatever they need to do. And you don't have to be offended by that. So 4s have to realize that they might not come home at the same time. They might say they're coming home for supper at 5 and they show up at 6 or 7 or 8. So the 4 has to be a little more flexible with the 7. Now, both of those numbers are driven by your mind. So both of you are thinkers, very intelligent, very good out in the world. So you've got that really going for you. because the sevens are driven by their mind, and so is the four. So that's a good thing. But you're never gonna fully understand a seven because they have a mystical and kind of a loner type of side. So if you realize that, then say, well, hey, I might not understand them, but that's okay because the part that they show me, I love. So, because fours are kind of mystical and secretive and quiet. They're not, so, it's fine. But a four could be suspicious of that, so just be aware of that. You don't need, if this person is honest and loyal, you have nothing to worry about, all right? So, some of the challenges you could have are that a seven is going to be maybe like more distant and not quite as physical as maybe the four would want to be. And if they are really physical, it's because they have other numbers that are influencing them. Because generally sevens are not like big huggers and kissers and things like that. They like to engage in a conversation in their relationship that's highly intelligent and engaging. So thank you for giving me that. Done Creative is an A and an R, been together 16 years. Okay, so Done Creative is an A and an R. Now, if you're together that long, then obviously the one, that's a 1 and a 9, and obviously you know exactly how to provide the needs of a 9, because 9s can be a little sensitive and creative, but that's the thing that keeps you going. A 9 is creative, a 1 is creative. You probably give that 9 a lot of ideas, and the 9 could give you ideas. You guys could be idea factories, right? And 9s can be hermits. They can go off and do their own thing, and so can a 1, and then you can come back like everything's fine. So 1s and 9s can get along really, really well, as long as the 1 realizes that the 9 is super sensitive, so to be careful with words. If you spit out like angry words, a 9 is going to stay hurt forever. And so once the 1 figures that out and puts a duct tape on their mouth during times where they're angry, then that works. Now, the 9s always have to talk about their problems sometimes, and they talk, and the 1 will be like, get the fuck over it, right? But the 1 needs to learn to listen, because that 9, part of their healing process is to talk about all that stuff. And when they talk and get it out, even if a 1 will want to solve it. You'll be like, try this, try that, right? But sometimes you don't have to do that. You can just like listen. You don't have to like solve anything, because 9s want someone to listen, not necessarily solve it. So you've got that figured out. You're both balanced in your numbers. Thumbs up. Thumbs up for you. You're making your numbers work, and that's what numerology is all about. By the way, there's nothing liking the card, the devil card of the tarot. The tarot does not believe in the devil. It also does not believe, so to speak, in God. The tarot was made to be a guidance system for human beings. So it includes the God religion belief, and it includes the devil, because that's the human experience of our belief. Just to set that clear. Okay. All right. All right, Shamika is an S and a C. So Shamika is a 1, and she's with a 3. Now, 1s and 3s can get along really well because they're both creative. It's just like the 1 and the 9. 3s and 9s are very creative people. And except that the 3 will want to talk a lot, and the 1, if the 1 has ideas, the 1 will want to talk about, but you can't out-talk a 3. When they're and a 3 can give you the silent treatment too, because when they're not balanced or they're mad, they can do the silent treatment. But a 1 and 3 can get along because they're both adventurous, they both have good ideas, they're both creative. The only thing is, a 3 is not as sensitive as a 9, but a 3 wants to have fun. And a 3 will take some risks, and so will a 1. So they're both they can both be spontaneous. Now, a 4 with a 3 might be a little more of a challenge, because a 4 will be like, we have to plan everything. When are we going to stop for lunch? And the 3 will be like, who the fuck cares? We'll eat a candy bar at Quick Trip for our supper. I mean, they just fly by the seat of their pants as long as it's fun. And so, yeah, that's very interesting. You carve your own path daily. Good for you. Melissa Anderson is a 4. She's an M, which is a 4. And then he is an S, which is a 1. Now, this can be a very good combination too, Because the four will say, now I want to plan this out. Like, let's say that they would go on a date, a four and a one. A four and a one go on a date. No, they're in a bar, right? A four and a one are in a bar, but not now during COVID. Uh, so the four will want to plan things out, and the one will add new things to it. How about if we do this? How about if we swim with the dolphins when they're there? And the four will have to think about that. How deep is the water? Is there a net so sharks can't get in? Is it safe? Do we have enough money? And so if the one honors that the four has to kind of have things, a little bit organized in that, then they'll get along beautifully. They can get along beautifully. Both numbers have a stubborn tendency, so that will be their biggest challenge, is the stubbornness. I'm not one to say anything, and I will later regret. I have a pretty good filter. Good for you. Good for you, Done Creative. Melissa Martin is a 4, and he is a K, which is a 2. He is a 2. He's a K2, and you're an M4. So that is perfect in some ways. Now remember, twos have issues around trust. They're hard on themselves. They don't like to make a mistake. So if you try to blame the 2 for something, the 2 might not want to take the blame for something. They'll be like, no, I didn't do fucking anything wrong. And then they might even turn it around and say, you did it wrong, or why are you bringing it up, or whatever. So 2s are very sensitive. 4s not so much. So there again, but 2s and 4s get along beautifully, other than if they become unbalanced. And even an unbalanced 4 is still pretty good, but not an unbalanced 2. So when the 2 gets unbalanced, it's a little bit different story. So the 2 can also be somewhat reserved when meeting new people. Like, unless they have a heavy 3 somewhere else in their name, they can be somewhat reserved. And so you might have a very organized group of people that are predictable. You have this group that you do this stuff with. You have your pool club where everybody shoots pool and they do this. So a 4 could end up with, what do you call that? Different click groups that they do stuff with. And a 2 would be okay with that. So that's a good blend. The 2 and the 4 is a good blend, as long as everybody stays balanced. You can exhibit the positive side of your number or the negative side. And you can swing the pendulum either way depending on what's going on in your life. So when 9s get unbalanced, they stay unbalanced a long time. And so that's just something to keep in mind too. Not that it's bad, but just to keep in mind. So that 4 and 2, good for you. That is good for you. So Shamika, 4 and 3 are the life path numbers. Well, life path numbers I don't look at for relationships, because life path is very small. Why? Because you got your whole life. You have your whole life to exhibit that number. And so, yeah, that's kind of like the purpose you came to Earth, but you can have opposite purposes and still get along on life path. So I will never look at life path numbers, although there are numerologists who disagree with me. Screw them. I don't care what they think. Life path, you have your whole life to do that. On a day-to-day basis, it's this much. Your first letter of your name is big. The day you were born is huge. Those are who you are every day of the week. So that relationship on a daily basis is really strong by your first name, your day that you were born, and the month you were born. Those are the really strong relationship numbers. Life path, I don't even look at. I will never look at life path numbers because any life path can get along with any other life path, because that's just minor. That's a very tiny little aspect or influence. The only time that might come into play is, let's say that you had a life path 5 and they were a world traveler, and you had a life path 4 who wanted to be in one town, teach at a career forever, because 4s like to stay in their careers a long time, and the musician who's a 5 wants to travel the world, and they're really living their life path every day. Then yes, the life path could influence them in that way. So it's not that it's wrong, but Deadwood, what's going on? You're given the first letter of your name if you want to know what you're doing in love. And if you are in love, you're giving the first letter of your name and the first letter of their name. And then we're evaluating your relationship. And welcome, welcome, welcome to tonight. What if my nickname starts with a C? No, I don't use nicknames for love. But that's a good question, Mickey Bailey. So now where was I? J Karma. J Karma is a J and a O. So that's a 1 and a 6. Oh, I'm so glad. Jay, thank you for coming. Because I needed a 6 to show up tonight, even if it's your partner. So I want to tell you about the number 6. They get along with everyone. They are sensitive. They love beautiful things. Bring them flowers. If they're a guy 6, they're a little different. But they're still nice people for the most part, unless they are not balanced. Sixes are the one people that can get along with anybody. It's the mother nurturing. They like to take care of. They like you to be happy. Sixes will go big lengths to be happy. So if you're with a partner that's a 6, letting them make you happy is a good thing. Letting them do things for you is a good thing, because 6s, they get happy off making other people happy. That's what 6s do. Now, hopefully that 6 won't like smother you, because that's the 1. A 1 needs a lot of independence. But the 6 will usually accept the 1. 6s accept all the numbers, but the 1 doesn't necessarily accept all the numbers. But the easiest one to get along with is a 6. All the numbers, if you're with a 6, you can't go wrong unless the 6 becomes unbalanced and exhibits addictive behaviors. Because 3, 6, and 9 have to worry about spending addictions, eating addictions, any kind of addiction behaviors. Yeah, 1 and 3, Shamika, are the laughing. 3 is a fun. They have got to have fun. Alina is a 1, and he is a 3. Oh, that's a funny combination. And then we'll get to Dory next. Dory is a D, which is a 4. So Alina, the 1 and the 3 can have a lot of fun together, unless the 1 is too serious. So if you have a lot of other 1s, which is AJS, or 1s in your date of birth, you can be like overly serious for a 3. Or a 3 could get, if a 3 has too many other 3s, and they could be like childish, and you'd be like, grow up, right? Because 3s tend to have eternal youth. Like, they like to do childish things even when they're adults. I mean, really, it's very weird. When I was raising my kids, what was I, in my 40s? And I bought them these green machines, which sit on the sidewalk, and they have 2 wheels in the back and a seat and 1 wheel in the front, right? And you ride them like that. They're like little tiny 3-wheelers, and you pedal them. So I bought 3 of them, because instead of me riding a bike and them riding the green machines, oh hell no, I wanted to ride the green machine. So we're all going down the sidewalk full speed, and then you could turn them things and go sliding, and if you hit the grass, you'd wipe out. So everyone at town thought I was really weird, because I'm in my 40s riding a green machine with my 7 and 9-year-old daughters. And I'm having more fun than them. I mean, I'm laughing, I'm wiping out, and they didn't get that. They were like, "My God, what is? She's just fucked up." But 3s like to have fun. So if you have a lot of 1 and you're a serious 1, then just have the 3 do that crazy stuff with their friends. And because my husband is a 4 and a 3, so he likes to have some fun. But the crazy stuff I have to do with my friends. Like the totally crazy stuff I have to have. Like, I bought this costume that fills up with air. It has a motor that blows air in it, and it made me like a big horse. And I went out to my horse pasture and ran with the horses, scared the frickin' shit out of them. I didn't know what to think, because I was whinnying like a horse. This thing had legs and a tail, and the back legs dragged. And here I am, this big horse, chasing my horses around with this big costume. And my husband is just like, so he doesn't do that kind of stuff, right? Or I think that there is, some haunted place, and I'm driving there at 11 o'clock at night, to film it, scaring the crap out of myself. My husband doesn't join me on stuff like that. I have to find my 3 or 7 friends, number 3, number 7. 7 would be all over that mystical stuff. So sometimes if you're going to be in love, You can do things with your friends. Don't insist that your partner has to be drug into all your stuff, especially if you're with a three. Because threes are strange, and so are sevens. Sevens are strange. So the one and the three can get along beautifully. They can get along really well as long as the one always communicates to the three. Now the three's going to want to talk about their feelings. I feel this, I feel that, blah 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 blah, right? And the one may not. Ones may not always have to communicate their feelings. They'll be like, "Oh, I'm going to get over it," and one might express anger feelings, and the three might express hurt feelings. So the one could say, "This pissed me off," blah, and the three would be, "This hurt me," right? That's the difference between the even and the odd numbers, sort of. Two breaks the rule because two is sensitive. So anyway, you're getting the idea. Oh, I'm so glad, Dory, that you found the channel. So you're a four, Dory. So in love, the best thing that you could do for a date with a four is go for a walk, get a nice car, have, something organized, plan a movie night. Maybe you go out to eat. Fours like to have things planned out, and they like to do things that engage the mind and that, where it's organized and they're learning and they get excellent customer service. Fours like excellent customer service. So they like to stay in hotels. Why? Because buildings are a four. They like to drive in cars. They like to be in nature. Everything that vibrates to a four is a four, and they like security, and they want a relationship that's going to create a sense of importance to them. Four likes to feel like they're important and they're contributing to the relationship. So if you're with somebody that's so independent that they could just live without you and they don't really need you, and that doesn't really work well for a four. They need to know that they're important to that person. So all of you can know that you should tell the people that you love how important they are to you. You should all do that. There are things you can do for any number that makes them feel good about who they are. And so how many times do you compliment them? I mean, you might be right there to oh, you did that wrong, but how many of you actually compliment the people that you love? Let's start doing that. Let's start, and just, you'll watch your whole relationship flop. At first they might be suspicious. What do you want? Why are you you must want something. But you got to do it from your heart, and you have to do it a lot. So start noticing what they do well. And my husband and I have a rule that every night we go to bed and we talk about how wonderful the person is and how thankful they for what they did, if they did the wash, if they did something to help us. Every night we don't go to sleep until we've said multiple things nice about the other person, and we're very, very careful not to ever say anything mean. We don't, because what's the point? There's no point in being mean to someone. You're never going to win. You're never going to get ahead. You're never going to prove that you're right and they're wrong, because even if you prove that they're right and they're wrong, you've damaged the relationship. So we don't have to do those things. My son is an H and hers is an M. Mickey Bailey, can you give advice on how to get over someone I'm really sick and can't eat? Yeah. Mickey Bailey, did I do you? Are you the... What letter was your first name, Mickey Bailey? Were you the M? So Melissa Anderson has a son that is an H. Oh, thank you, Melissa Anderson. I wanted to talk about eights. It's the most powerful number there is. And she's a 4. Perfect. Except remember that 8 is the most powerful number there is. So 8 has to sometimes calm the 8 down. All right, they have to kind of like calm it down. But a 4 can handle an 8. So that can be a really good relationship. Now remember, the 4 can be stubborn, so that partner could be stubborn, and the 8 will be like, no. The 8 would be like, 8 doesn't like the stubbornness. 8s are about power. They want to feel powerful. They want the relationship to make them feel, complete and really resilient. 8s like relationships that are materially make sense. Like the person's not codependent. 8s won't tolerate addiction. They don't tolerate codependence if it's a balance, if they're balanced in the 8. So 8 and 4 can get along pretty good, provided they're both balanced. When an 8 becomes unbalanced, watch the hell out. Because that is the most powerful number. And when that number becomes unbalanced, run. But the 4, if they become unbalanced, it's doable. It's doable with the 4. They never slide too far from their norm of the 4. Mickey Bailey. So when you get sick over the ending of a relationship, it's because you expected too much from that relationship. So that you expected them to stay, you expected them to be, to do things. When you have a lot of expectations on a relationship and then they abandon you, then all your expectations get abandoned and then it's devastating. But there is a grief point. Excuse me. All relationships go through a grief point. It's very hard to break up. So let yourself have that for a tiny little while. Set a timer. And once the timer's up and you felt like you've gone through your grief point, then you have to close the door and move on with your life. Because if you grieve too long, you're not benefiting yourself. And also it puts you in victim mode. So if you're hanging on to grief, you're saying, poor me, I'm a victim. And that doesn't benefit anyone. No one benefits by having victims in relationships, especially when they end. So when a relationship ends, some of the numbers will want to turn around and get in another relationship right away, and that's called rebound, and those rarely work. So you do want to give yourself space when you've had a breakup, not to go to the next one soon. So do some self-care, but remember, set a time on that grief, because you don't want to be grieving that loss to the point where it ruins your health, because that's not healthy. What you can do, Mickey, is if you feel that your health is getting ruined from this breakup, is write a number 1 down. Just like this, the number 1. The ones don't tolerate grieving very long. They're like, they get over it. So carry a number 1 in your purse, in your wallet, in your pocket. Carry a number 1 around. What this will do is that you'll realize that it's actually, breakups are a good thing. It's the universe's way of saying that that person was not meant for you. And you deserve, in a way, I don't like the word deserve. It's saving you from having a future of disharmony. Let's just say it that way. I'm trying to word this properly. So let's say that you had a 25-year-old marriage and the person left you, right? And you're going to be devastated because you spent 25 years. It just means that something better is coming for you. There's always something better, all right? There's always something better around the corner. So instead of grieving in the past, why not look to what better you're going to create? So, what kind of person are you to be in love with? What's it like to be in love with you? So your homework, what time is it? Oh my God, we're at our hour already. You were going to ask if he's coming back around. You mean coming, what do you mean around? Is he's going to come back to you? Is he going to come back to Mickey? Ugh. Look at, she's just saying how devastated she was. And this card is literally showing the devastation. I think, I don't know, I hate to say this, but with this card, it could be over. It could be over. I wouldn't have an expectation if they're going to come back. I would be like, I don't know if you come back, I don't even know if I'll have you back. All right? I don't even know if you deserve me. So I would raise up your self-esteem a little bit and not expect the person to come back. Don't be in that space. So be in the space where if they come back, you'll deal with it them, but you're moving forward with your life. That's where the space that I would be in. Okay. All right. I've got to let you go. It is our hour. I'm going to have a lot of fun putting some more YouTube videos up. If you guys have ideas, put them in my community channel. I might just post a thing, hey, new ideas for, YouTube videos. And let's just, and because I love doing them. That's like my passion. I love doing YouTube videos. I love these lives. I love, you guys are great. I think that I have one of the best communities and ever. You guys mean so much to me. So doing these lives and doing them on a regular basis, it really nurtures my soul and my heart to be able to help you guys. And you guys are helping me. Your feedback and your comments, it's not just me helping you. It's a two-way street. All of you being here, all of you showing up, all of you engaging is helping me. So it's a two-way street, and I appreciate all of you. So love, and have a good week, and stay safe. I'll see you next Sunday night. Look for my new videos to show up on YouTube, because I can't wait.